very lovely Mr. Guy Thornycroft, who is the guy to know. I'm Jane Jackson. I'm a career management coach, as most of you know if you follow me anyway and are connected on LinkedIn or Facebook. And I'm the author of Navigating Career Crossroads and the host of Your Career Podcast. And I'm on a mission to inspire you to take control of your life and your career to create the life of your dreams. And what about you, Guy?
Fantastic. Well, I'm Guy Thornycroft, the guy to know. I mainly work with businesswomen because I find that businesswomen have this panache for making things right rather than being right. And I love that. So that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And so today we're going to be helping people to get over that hurdle, you know, when you're just stuck and you want to get stuff done, but you don't because you've got the wrong mindset. And I find everything that holds us back is all between our ears right here. It's just those few inches that keep churning around in our minds going, no, you can't do it. No, you're not good enough. Oh, I've got imposter syndrome, etc. And then we don't achieve the great heights that all of us are capable of. And I know you've got plenty to say about that, Guy. And do you find, is it men or women, in your opinion, just to kick us off, who seem to experience this more?
That's a great question. You know what? I love working with other people who really understand this as a problem, because you hear the same problem that people have, but you hear it in different language, and that gives a sort of greater breadth to addressing it. To answer that problem, I think it really depends on the things that are holding people back. I think men have a fear of being wrong. I think they hold on to an image in their mind a lot more than women often do. But on the same token, I think there are some belief patterns that women tend to have that also hold them in a pattern where they're getting ready to start much longer than often men do. Men often jump in much sooner, but for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. I know I tend to just jump in much sooner than I should, and I know I should contemplate things a little bit more. Now, actually, I've just jumped into this. I would like anyone who's watching and listening right now, can you type in the comments where you're listening or watching from? Are you in Australia? Are you in Singapore? Are you in Hong Kong? My goodness, I mean, Hong Kong's my home. If you're from Hong Kong, then I hope you're healthy and well. Or are you somewhere else in the world? Do let us know. So just pop it in the comments so we know where people are from, because I can see there are about I think there are about 20 something people who are watching, and I would love to know. Oh, we've got 7 comments already. I haven't even been able to see them. Let's have a look and see who's here.
Where you're listening or watching.
Hold on, let me just turn that down. Okay, someone from Boston, San Diego, Bernardo from Monterrey in Mexico. Mark wrote, hi, Mark, and Tanya, good to see you. Hi, Gillian, and how lovely. And Guy, I know you're in the Central Coast. I'm in Sydney. I'm over in Mossman. Someone from Tampa, Florida. Justin. Oh, hi, Justin. Good to see you. Maria from Melbourne. Eve from Sydney. Hi, Eve. Thanks for coming in. How lovely. We've got people from all the way from the US and across the States to Australia. So lovely. No one from New Zealand just yet. Okay, so should we...
And that's suitable, really, because this is a global problem. I think this across humanity, across cultures, across timelines, everybody seems to have something that holds them back.
Have you ever felt that little niggling feeling like, can I really do this?
Oh, absolutely. That little feeling of doubt about, if I start this, am I going to be out of my depth? If I start this and fail, will that be the end and I don't get another chance to give it a crack? I think so. Absolutely.
And you know what? I always think, am I going to be any good at this? But I've developed this feeling within myself that I think, you know what, if I don't have a go, nothing's going to happen. So let's just do it and see what happens. And so often it actually works quite well. And so what I want to let everybody know is what we're going to be discussing today. Okay, get my glasses out because I can't see a thing without my glasses. Is first of all, for your career, your business, or life in general, how meditation may help you. Okay. Also, how you can deal with the emotions that stop you from getting stuff done. Because that's all we want to do in life, is to get things done, right? And often we don't, because we're so busy going around in circles in our head. And finally, how to actually take direction towards your goal. And some people are always getting ready to take action, and they don't actually take action because they're so busy preparing. So any of you perfectionists out there, preparation is good. However, sometimes done is better than perfect. Wouldn't you agree, Guy?
Oh, absolutely. Go for the stars and get halfway there is a long way ahead of standing where you are.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start off with meditation, because I love meditation and I know you do too. And it works really well. So what have you found when you work with your clients, when it comes to managing their stress levels, feeling self-doubt? How do you incorporate meditation into what you do?
That's a fantastic starting point, Jane, because I think you need to understand why I think meditation is so amazing. And I think it's because I follow a principle that there are sort of two orientations to life. One where you're in your head, you're dealing with thoughts, you're dealing with feelings, and you're reacting as a result of those feelings. They tell you how to behave and how to react in a situation. And the other is when you can sit the emotions aside and just observe. And from that space, you're much more grounded, much more calm, much more able to see the truth of what's going on without the knee-jerk reaction of the emotions kicking in, which are all based on your beliefs anyway. And I think that's the fundamental purpose of meditation from a business perspective. It's got heaps of other benefits, as we both know, but from getting stuff done, from a business success point of view, the ability to step out of the emotions, out of your head, and actually look at a situation objectively is what meditation delivers. And I think that's the big value in the way that we're talking about it here. And that's certainly where I see my clients getting the most value out of a meditative practice.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done?
Yeah, well, I assist my clients with meditation when I feel that they may need it, and they need to be open to it as well. Because some people think it's all mumbo jumbo, which it isn't, because it's been scientifically proven to work so well when it comes to reducing your blood pressure, reducing your heart rate, and helping you to relax. But I just want to share one story. This is a number of years ago. I was living in Singapore and working in Singapore, and I was creating a new program for a bank, and it was going to be a confidence building program. It was a completely new program at the time. Ended up calling it Yes, I Can with an exclamation mark, which was good. But I was a little bit stuck with a certain section of that program. And I was going around in circles and getting really annoyed with myself. And then I started to think, I can't do this. I can't do this. And so what I did was I sat outside on the terrace and I did my meditation. Now, I'd been meditating since I was 16 years old, when I learned how to do transcendental meditation. Yes, I know. It was funny. It was my best friend. She goes, Jane, there's this new thing called TM, transcendental meditation. So that kind of ages me. You know exactly how old I am now. When TM first became really big, and I was growing up in Hong Kong, my best friend Shireen said, let's go and do TM. So I learned how to do it, and I couldn't believe how calm and grounded and clear things were as a result of meditation. And so I've always been practicing TM, transcendental meditation. So that day when I was feeling stuck, I sat down and I did this meditation for 20 minutes. That's all. You kind of go into a meditation and you naturally come out after about 20 minutes. And what was amazing was that I was so into it, because I'm very used to meditating, that when I opened my eyes, everything was greener. The sky was bluer, the grass was greener, everything was just clearer. And I suddenly had this thing, I'm going to add this into my presentation. And it was just this idea that came out of the blue. And it's funny, because when you're relaxed, you become less stuck in the way that you feel. And I like to tell that story because it really helped me. And all I did was sit rather than fret. And I think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. It's like a state of innocence. A child looks at something for the first time and they have no preconceived ideas about that item. They're seeing it for the first time for what it is, without judgment and without the brain's natural ability, which just goes, yep, I know what that is, yep, I know what that is, yep, I know what that is. And we go through life with all this richness, flicking things aside, going, yep, 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 yep. and not noticing it and seeing it for what it is. And I think when you allow everything to slow down and start seeing the greener grass and the bluer sky, the ideas flow, the imagination flows, the creativity flows far more efficiently. This is an area that I've seen massive change in. I arrived in Australia in 2000 with some of these ideas. And at the time I was working with financial planners, and very few business people were prepared to consider meditation. It was still seen as a woo-woo, something out there, dress in monk robes and shave your head. And now I think it's actually a significant component of any executive that I've interviewed or coached has a very clear concept of what emotional intelligence is, the ability to deal with emotions, to calm oneself, and they all use meditation on a daily basis. So it's become mainstream and not a moment too soon, I think.
Yeah, and it's all to do with practicing mindfulness, because so often we're living in the future, when I do this, then this will happen, or else we're living in the past and, oh, if only that didn't happen, then I would be so much better now. And we tend to forget that right now, in this very present moment in which I'm talking to you, Guy, doing this lovely
right now
and Facebook broadcast, I mean, you can really experience joy. I mean, for me, it's really joyful to be able to talk to you right now. First of all, I'm mindful that I can see you. I'm mindful that technology is working. I'm mindful that I love what I do, and you obviously love what you do. And how good is that? I'd like to ask anyone who's watching, if they're still watching, do you meditate? And what have you experienced when you meditate? Some people, they start meditation, they think, oh, that doesn't work, and then they give up. But if you've practiced it for a long time, what are the benefits that you felt and experienced? I'd love to hear that as well. And in the comments, if we don't actually catch the comments, oh, there are so many comments. I better refresh.
Wow.
I better refresh. Hold on. Let me just see if someone's saying something really important that I have missed so far. Rebecca Bishop. Oh, you can only stay for 20 minutes? Well, I'm glad that you're here for a little while. Hope you're still there. Oh, Pearlie's from Vancouver in BC. You're from somewhere. I can't see that. Hang on. Oh, Loredana, how nice that you're here. Maurice from Canada. Fantastic. Well, welcome everybody. If you have, if you do any meditation, and if it helps you, I'd love to hear it as well, because I want to share a few things. Guy, I've got some interesting research that I just like to share with everyone. That after this is, I did a bit of research before today as well, and this is something that I like sharing with my clients when they feel really stuck. But after an 8-week course in mindfulness meditation, the amygdala, associated with fear and emotion, shrinks, while the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with awareness, concentration, and decision making, becomes thicker. Good, huh? And a study of older adults showed that mindfulness-based stress reduction programs, consisting of things including daily meditation, reduces feelings of loneliness, as so many older people feel, as well as pro-inflammatory gene expression. So beneficial no matter what age you are. And research has shown that generating positive emotions directed towards yourself rather than bashing yourself up, and to others through contemplated meditation can improve both your emotional as well as your physical health. And it's so true. I feel so much better when I meditate. I bet you do too, Guy.
Absolutely. Well, it's letting go of all the emotions and the fear, and stepping into just observing and being present. And with that, the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of whatever it is that you're avoiding dissipates. Absolutely brilliant. Whole new orientation to life. Now, you mentioned this now, I think something really, really important, and that was when I'm ready. I think that's one of the two things that hold people back is a fear of failure. And there's a lot of research into that as well. And I think meditation plays a big role in that fear. It allows you to step up boldly and step up with the intent of success. But the other one, other than fear of failure, is I'm not ready. And a belief system, and there's a whole string of them, but I don't know enough is a good one. That's a really easy one to demonstrate. People that have got a string of degrees and diplomas behind themselves because there's a belief of, I don't know enough, but when I know enough, then I'll be happy, then I'll get the partner that I want, then whatever it is. and they spend their life learning more and more and more, avid students. But the belief remains, and unless that's addressed, they still believe they don't know enough, so they carry on getting ready to start.
I've coached a couple of clients who have asked me, should I get an MBA? Should I get a PhD? Should I get this qualification before I do that? And I'll go, do you need it? Do you really need it? Or are you doing it because it makes you feel better? Because we can have an arm long of qualifications, but if they're not needed for what you are doing or what you aspire to do, then what you're doing is delaying the eventual launch of whatever it is that you want to do.
That's right.
And sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, done is better than perfect. And, I used to write articles because I like producing a lot of content, and I would write and rewrite and edit and re-edit, and consequently I would never post anything because I was so busy perfecting it. But it's the concept, it's your thought leadership. Get it out there, and if someone debates, then how good is that? Because then it's like, oh, I'm going to get someone else's opinion. That's fine. I'm not always 100% right. I might just throw something out there for a discussion. And I like that, because I know some people honestly have said to me, when it comes to meditation and mindfulness, oh, that's totally mumbo jumbo, very, very woo-woo, as you said. But because scientists have proven that it does help us physically and mentally.
Significantly.
And significantly. There was this one other study. Where is it? It is the one about, here we go. Meditating, potentially one of the most powerful ways to stall the onset of and prevention of Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
Is that? I mean, that really is powerful. Very, very powerful. And it helps people who are experiencing PTSD, because, we have so many triggers if you're experiencing post-traumatic stress, but then the meditation allows you to calm yourself down as well. And I think when you do that, it creates this feeling of self-belief. I can do anything. Yeah.
In the interest of broadening our understanding, what's your definition of meditation? Because there's comments and things coming up about, I haven't found a style of meditation. So clearly there are a number of options. Briefly, what's your process for going into a meditation?
It's, well, I do actually several different methods. TM is one, and that really works very well for me because I'm quite practiced in it. And so that is having a mantra or a word, and you can, create your own word, or you can use one, the one that most people tend to think of is Om, but you don't have to have Om. You can have calm or relax or just breathing. And what it is focusing on one thing. Just focusing on one thing, because so often our minds are so busy and we have this thought and that thought, and this is going in our heads, and I can't do this, and oh, the traffic's so bad, and oh, I've got to make dinner, and oh, what about the baby, and oh, I've got that report to write. And we have a lot of things going on in our heads constantly. So when you bring yourself into an internal focus and you focus on the one thing, what I find is always thoughts will come into your head. And then you'll start going down that little rabbit hole of thoughts again, and you're not actually meditating anymore. But don't chastise yourself for doing that. You just think, oh, I'm thinking again. Let me bring myself back to my one thing, which will be my breath, or it will be my mantra. And you focus on that again. And inevitably, in the back of your mind, thoughts start coming in again, and you push them. You can't really push them out of your mind. You can replace them with
acknowledge them.
And the word. And that really is very much what transcendental meditation is, and being mindful of your breath. I'm breathing in, let it go through your body. I'm breathing out. Oh, now I'm thinking about dinner. No, I'm thinking about breathing. And then you bring it back again. And what was interesting is my stepson, when he was young, he used to find it difficult to go to sleep. And I was in Singapore, he was in Sydney. He used to call me, I can't sleep, Jane. So I'll talk him through it. And yes, we used to have these expensive
Leading
phone calls,
into a,
because you'd fall asleep, because first of all, my voice is really soporific anyway, and I put people to sleep quite naturally.
yeah.
But when you go through the meditation, it's so effective that it helps you to relax.
Oh,
And you're not
absolutely.
supposed to sleep when meditating, but so often you get into such a relaxed state that you do eventually
You drift off. Yeah.
reduce the stress so you can sleep, especially for people who are going through redundancy or some traumatic thing that's happening in their lives, and they find that they're lying awake in bed at night thinking, thinking and thinking and thinking, and then they're tossing and turning, and it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And if you could meditate, I bet you anything you'll be able to relax enough that you drift off to sleep. What method do you use, Guy?
I've tried the focusing on a mantra, and I find that the easiest starting point is actually after the breathing. So intentional breathing, deep into the stomach, up into the chest, and from my free diving, I know that automatically slows down your heart rate, it slows down your thinking process, and then I intentionally create a safe place, and for me it's the beach. So I imagine standing on a beach, and then I use my imagination to the color of the sky, the texture of the sand under my feet. What am I smelling? What am I hearing? And by intentionally placing my focus on something that I'm creating in my head, I allow my thoughts and the rest of it to calm down. So I create a safe, beautiful place on the beach, and that tends to connect me back to my heart and my higher self. And from that place, I can then make a decision then to focus on one single thing, maybe a shell on the beach, or a bird in the sky, or something like that, and allow that to become the focus. But it gives my mind something to chew on while it's slowing down and while it's getting back into line. So imagination is what I teach clients to use first initially, just to get them into that habit of just being in control of their thoughts and directing their thoughts rather than letting the thoughts control their feelings and actions.
And also just taking your time to relax as well, because you don't have to relax just like that. It's almost impossible.
That's right.
No, I'm so stressed. I'm so relaxed.
People have said in the meeting, just relax, simmer down. Very helpful.
People tend to do that, don't they? Like when someone's getting really, really uptight, you go, just relax.
Oh, just relax.
Well, how are you supposed to do that?
How does that help? Most irritating thing ever.
Yeah. But what I like to say is, let's take a breath.
Let's take a breath. Breathing. I think breathing is the heart of meditation, is being able to breathe deeply, calmly, and breathing oxygen into every part of your body, I think has a tremendous effect on slowing everything down.
I just want to share something. Hold on, let me just create something here. If you go, I'm just typing, but I can't see, so let me put my glasses on.
Better to try and fail than fail to try. Love that one, Marcy. Yeah, lovely.
There we go. And Benna, this one, should anyone be interested, I've actually created 2 meditations. They're only 10 minutes. One is positive affirmations to change your life. And the other one is just 10 minutes of peace. And so if you go to janejacksoncoach.com/meditation, you'll be able to download them. They're actually on my YouTube channel. But I created one for a very, very stressed client one day. And she listened to it and she goes, oh, I feel much, much better, because I podcast. So obviously doing recordings is easy for me. And so I put it up onto YouTube. And what was so interesting was that I had a lady who was a partner in a management consulting firm who out of the blue sent me an email to say thank you, because she said, I stumbled across your positive affirmations to change your life meditation. And she said she was feeling quite stressed because she was going in for a very important negotiation, and she was looking for something just to calm her down, and she happened to listen to this for 10 minutes, and it really is an empowering meditation. And she said when she walked out of the negotiation, her colleagues said, wow, that was the best you've ever done. And she said, just wanted to send you a note to say thank you. And I thought, oh, that's so lovely, because it was out of the blue. And you never know, when you put out, content that can help other people, it reaches so many people, and most people just consume it and they don't do anything about it.
You never get to hear about it.
Thank you.
That sort of feedback, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really good. So if
Then
anyone's
there are beautiful meditations, I have to say. I've
yeah,
listened to them, and they're gorgeous, absolutely
yeah.
wonderful.
And
Yeah, I recommend them.
And there are others that are really good as well, such as Calm and Headspace. And they can calm you down because you can have 1-minute meditations, 2-minute meditations, 5, 10, 20-hour-long meditations as well. But I think it would be good. So have we got some comments that we need to respond to? Because I see there are some new comments. And
Have a look through that. I just wanted to throw in a
okay.
comment of my own here.
Mm.
And that is, it's not a matter of avoiding emotion. I think emotion plays a very important part in our lives, and to be emotionally barren is as bad as being driven by your emotions. So there's emotional intelligence is actually allowing yourself to experience the emotion, but not react from a place of that. So if you're in a negotiation and they've just accused you of lying or something horrendous, your emotion is triggered. How dare they? And what that ends up happening is a fight to prove that you're honest, and it takes you completely off track of what the end objective of the meeting might have been. So emotional intelligence is not avoiding emotions, but recognizing what triggers you, and then going, there's myself trying to protect myself and feeling threatened or feeling vulnerable in some way. So emotions can become a very valuable guide as to what the next part of your life you need to work on is. So when somebody triggers you, rather than responding to it, notice it and go, wow, I've just been given a gift here. That's an area of my life I need to look at. What's my belief pattern that I have that needs to be looked at and understood so that I'm not triggered in the same way again. Emotions are very valuable.
Yeah, so often we feel something, but we don't give it a name. And we're feeling and we just don't have a word for it. Whereas as soon as you give it a name, it's manageable. So if you say, I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling annoyed, or I'm feeling much, much worse things, but I won't swear on this live.
Oh, good on you. I've never heard you swear. You know the swear words.
Yeah. But if you acknowledge, I'm really angry right now, and the reason is, and then you explain to yourself why, what it is that makes you feel angry, then suddenly it's manageable. It's a little bit like when you're a little kid and you're afraid of the monster under the bed. And it's like, I'm just scared. I'm scared. There's something under the bed. There's something under the bed. It's a monster. But then when you actually look and you shine a torch on it, there's nothing there. And then suddenly, oh, well, then it's okay. Whereas in your mind, it plays bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think you're absolutely right. If you acknowledge the emotion that you feel, then you can actually deal with it. Oh, I've got another story for you. It's actually quite a sad story, but it helped me when my mother passed away, because that intense grief when you lose someone and it's forever because they're gone, they died. When my mother passed away, it was in 2005, and I was with my daughters, and we were in Mum's home, and we were packing things up for her, and we just couldn't do it. And we were just crying and wailing, and we were just, honestly, we were in that emotion, and it was just dark, and it was sad, and it was heart-wrenching. But while we were all huddled together just crying so much, I had this feeling, and it was almost as if an out-of-body experience, a little bit. I'm not going woo-woo on you, but it was like I was looking down on the three of us, my two daughters and myself, crying. And I was watching and watching and watching, and suddenly I said to myself, they are grieving. We are grieving. This intense ache and just heartache, it's normal, because that's how you feel when you are grieving. Embrace it. And it was really a strange feeling, because as soon as I said to myself, yeah, I'm grieving and it's normal, suddenly the tears stopped.
Wow.
And I explained it to my daughters, and then they stopped crying as well. And of course, we all love my mother. She was so gorgeous, and we missed her. But then it was like, yeah, we really miss Pawpaw. We called her Pawpaw. And suddenly we were able to get up and go to her wardrobe, pack things up, look at things, and then start to think of all the happy times. And remember when she said that, and remember that silly thing she used to do. And then we started laughing and we were enjoying the memories rather than that, just the intense grief. As soon as we put the word to it, it made a difference. And I think for all of us going through anything challenging in our lives, personally or professionally, or a career, a job or whatever, with that feeling or anxiety or stress or whatever that you're feeling, put a name to it and then think, okay, what are the tools and techniques to overcome that? And that's what helps to breathe more.
Haven't you found, Jane, that society generally has not allowed emotion to be a legitimate experience for people? If you're angry, well, that's fine, but you need to bottle it. If you're sad, well, that's fine, but don't let all the rest of us see that you're crying. You know, if you want to lash out for some reason, strong emotion has been very much vilified, and people deny that they are envious. People deny that they have these very strong emotions, hate, you know, particularly in a relationship, anger over something that's happened at work, but we're not allowed to have them. And I think that first step of going, you know what, everybody has those intense emotions and they are okay to have. It's what you do with them that matters. So acknowledging them and going, I really resent the fact that they went over my head and went to the boss or whatever they've done, and accepting that you feel that way is the starting point for acknowledging. What you resist persists, and pretending that it didn't happen and everything's fine actually just bubbles away inside. And I think that's much more destructive on a person than accepting the emotion for what it is, naming it, as you've said, which sort of depowers it, really, doesn't it? And understanding why you feel that way. And once, even if you just explain it to yourself, that's a very powerful way of dealing with the emotion. So then you can become effective again and get back to doing what needs to be done to achieve what you're trying to achieve, rather than being stewed up in the emotion itself. And not just grief in your case, but almost any range of powerful emotion needs to be dealt with, just as you've said, acknowledged and understood, at least by yourself.
Yeah, and then learn how to deal with it and move on. You know, like in my line of work, I work with so many people who are going through career change or organizational change. And change management is really tough for managers as well as the people who are affected. And like, say if you're on the receiving end of a redundancy, you feel disempowered because it's a business decision and suddenly they don't want you anymore, and then you've got to go and it's not your decision, which makes it hard to take. But it's also difficult for the leaders who have to deliver the information, and sometimes you forget about those people who have to say, oh, I've got to let 5 people go from my department, or we've got to let 450 people go.
How do I do that?
What's happening with Holden now as well, because they're going to be redundancies, they're going to be so many people who are going to be affected, and now they're going to start to feel anxious and worried. Oh, what am I going to do? Will I get another job? Am I too old to get another job? Will anyone ever want me anymore? Are my skills still relevant? What's going on? And so they start to worry about their industry, their job function, their age, their male or female. Maybe they won't hire another woman or whatever it is. And then you start to pile one worry on top of the other, and it ends up being a very stressful situation. It's disempowering. Whereas if you've got a safe place to be able to talk about it, to get over it, and you're guided by, you know, professionals who can actually assist you, then you're able to take control of the situation, take control of your career, your life, your relationships, your marriage, or whatever it might be, and do something about it.
Yeah, that the stress where it begins can be anywhere. You know, I have clients who companies are growing particularly quickly and they're still trying to do all the work themselves, with, you know, resistance to delegating it out. Relationships that are breaking down. You know, everything's fine at work because you have to keep a happy face at work and let the world know that everything's going really well, but inside you might be crumbling. So whatever the source of that initial fear, anxiety, as you say, with help, it's so much easier
Mm, mm. You know, I just want to move on to the third thing, because we talked about meditation, we've talked about how to accept the way you're feeling and how to deal with it. And then finally, procrastination. Now, I'm very guilty of this, and many other people are as well, because as you know, I've got a Facebook group called Get Stuff Done Accountability, because procrastination is quite a common thing. And you know, and you know, we all want to be productive, and it feels good when we're productive, and yet we still procrastinate and we don't do the important stuff, because sometimes when you've got to do something important, you feel a bit stressed about it, and then you don't do it, and then you feel better for a little while because you're not doing it. But then it gets worse because it becomes urgent. And so what do you think of that, Guy?
I think that's so true. And again, I think society has taught us that tension is a bad thing. But I sort of, again, I think there's two types of tension. There's a creative tension, which goes, okay, this is where I'm at, that's where I want to be, and I'm not there, so I'm uncomfortable. And that's a good thing. Nothing was ever created without tension of some desire to change. But the other psychological tension, which is, what if I start and I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't come up to scratch? What if I get hurt going through it? Then I'll really feel like I'm a failure. I love the dream of being able to get there, but if I start and fail, it might mean that I never get there. So better to dream that I could get there while it's still a possibility, rather than starting the journey and finding that I can't complete it. So I think you're absolutely right on the money, that there's good tension and bad tension. And good tension is acknowledging that you're not where you want to be and then doing something about it. And psychological tension is often what stops us from taking the journey. It gets us watching endless Facebook or binge watching TV or whatever it is. Drinking, and often, you know, is another way of procrastinating. I'll just have a drink first. Getting ready to get ready.
You know, I think reaching out and having someone, a friend, a trusted confidant to assist you to stay on track makes such a difference, because I think accountability buddies are great, because you know, it can be your best friend, or it can be your partner, or it can be somebody at work. I remember when I was writing my book, Navigating Career Crossroads, and because it's quite arduous writing a book, it takes a long time. It took me a year, but I wanted to break the back of the number of words I had to get out, and I had a task of 1,000 words a day. So I ended up writing 75,000 words, but getting started took so long, and so I told everybody that I knew, I'm writing a book and I need you to keep me on track.
You put it out there.
One of my lovely friends, Bridget, she would text me every day. How many words, Jane? How many words, Jane?
How many words?
5. 5. I said, once upon a time, and that was it. But because she said, okay, Jane, you get to 20,000 words, Veuve Clicquot. And I went, oh, you're on. You know, dangle Veuve Clicquot in front of me. Of course, I'll get anything done. But it was so good because she was regular. She goes, how many words today? I'll go, okay, I did 5,000 words over the past 6 days. She goes, it's supposed to be 1,000 words a day, you know, so you need another 1,000 now, get it done. And it was really good to have someone crack the whip, because I find I can keep myself accountable, but I also let myself slip. And
you've got to tell them about the Facebook page now. I'm loving it.
Okay, all right, I'll tell you about the Facebook page. On Facebook, I have a Facebook accountability group called Get Stuff Done Accountability, and in it, and Guy is there as well, and in it we keep each other accountable to get stuff done. And I created this goals template. It's like this one, the goals template, which is free, and you can download it from the Get Stuff Done Accountability group. And what it is creating your goals, creating SMART goals, okay, but health and fitness goals, because we all want to get fit, we all want to get healthy. Weight loss goals or weight gain goals. We either want to lose weight or we want to gain weight, right? Work and career goals, business goals, especially, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, founder, and also holiday goals, because we have to have the downtime goals as well. We tend to think of goals as being something bigger and better and productive, but we need to have the relaxation goals too.
Put the rocks in the jar first.
Yeah, or else, drink a liter of water a day goals, things like that. And my big goal at the moment is I want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning, and I'm failing, and I need help. So for business, I get a lot of stuff done, but I'm not getting the 6 a.m. riser goal out there just yet. So I need help. So if anyone wants to join us, do come and join us in this group. Okay, facebook.com/groups, Get Stuff Done Accountability, because that's a great place to find.
We need your help just as much as you might need ours.
Yeah, that's right. Because you've got a goal. You've got a goal to breathe, to hold your breath for 5 minutes, right?
That's right. I want to break the 5-minute mark. I've got it within 1 second of it. And this year I want to go well over 5. So 5.25 minutes.
I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, you are superhuman, guys. Superhuman.
Well, we're all amazing at something, aren't we? Holding your breath's hardly monetizable, but
might not be monetizable, but I'm sure there's a purpose to it. But it just means that you are so in control of your body, and it's like a meditation, isn't it?
Meditation's the key to it, actually.
Yeah.
Slowing everything down.
Yeah, your breathing, your heart rate, your blood pressure all slows down, and
controlling your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I find it really quite amazing, because I believe if we're in control of our bodies, then we control other aspects of our lives. If we're out of control with our health, our fitness, our weight, etc., then it's
so much harder, isn't it?
Yeah, permeates into other areas of our lives as well. And if you need help, then of course there's always the guy to know, or myself, Jane. I'm a career management coach, and I help you in your life and career as well. But I hope that today's live stream has been useful. We've been talking for 45 minutes. Much longer.
15 minutes, Jane. Yes, sure. No problem.
Such an interesting chat. But I'll be going through all of these questions. There's actually one. Loredana asked, just wondering, is there a good time to meditate? Time of day or when stressed? If you are going to get into meditation, Loredana, a good thing to do is to make it a practice to meditate first thing in the morning to kick you off, and then later in the evening. If you're feeling stressed during the day, give yourself just 2 or 3 minutes of mindfulness, and that will reset everything that's going on and help you to carry on for the rest of the day. That's what I believe. What do you think, Guy?
Well, I have a practice of a 1 minute meditation before going into anything serious. So if you're going into a meeting, you're about to make a phone call, you're about to start a project, I use almost any excuse just to slow myself down, to re-ground myself. It's a grounding exercise, and get my thoughts under control. Because when I go into a situation, I want to I want to hit the ground running, and I want to be present and seeing everything right up. So I use that as an excuse, because I find in the morning I'm not thinking clearly, and it takes me a little while to go, oh yes, right, meditation time. And often there's an alarm going off, or there's somebody at the door, or I get disturbed. So I make other excuses all the way through the door, going, just about to start something. And starting anything, I'm going to ground and center. And I use that as my reminder to do a meditation.
There's just one thing that I'd like to leave us with is, when you are really distracted and you're starting to panic. And I know a lot of people, because I coach a number of clients who feel an element of anxiety as well. And when you walk down the street and you start to feel really, really anxious, something that really helps to ground you is to stop just for a moment and look at 3 things around you. So just think, okay, lamppost, the sky, a palm tree, or the blue car, the ground, and Just Juice, if you're standing next to Just Juice. And it's just stop and think, what is around me? Because so often everything is a blur and you don't notice. But as soon as you stop and think, okay, I'm standing on the ground, that is the road, there's a red car.
Notice the texture. That's something people who wake up in a panic, you give them something next to the bed to touch. So something familiar. They say, and that can be reassuring, that the texture of bricks or the lamppost or the smooth of the paint. So texture, color, pick something of it and notice it in more depth. So that's the shape, that's the color, that's the texture. And I love adding in smell. For me, smell's really important. So I imagine what it would smell like. So, you talked about the palm tree. Palm trees have a wonderful smell. So, but that stopping and having to imagine, what does it smell like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Is the switch in the mind that allows everything to slow down and for you to become present again. That's wonderful advice, Jane.
How mindful are we? And I just want to say, we are so lucky to have the technology and the ability to be able to speak to so many people on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well.
From around the world.
Oh, we're getting a few hearts here. Tanya Tepperson, thank you, Tanya. She said, this has been amazing, guys. Thanks so much. Well,
awesome.
Wonderful. Justin Barnes says he's completed courses for purpose. Julian used to go swimming a few times a week. So I think focusing on the black line and counting my breath was a type of meditation. Absolutely true. Right. Maurice says better to try and fail than fail to try. Absolutely. Give it a go. Give it a go. And Gaynor. So, meditation keeps her calm and relaxed. Practicing self-compassion too. Yeah, give yourself a break. Sometimes we just beat each other up far too much.
We haven't gone there much in this talk, but that's a whole other aspect of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do another one. Okay, so if there's anything that any of you want to ask Guy or ask myself, please pop it in the comments. If you're watching the replay, put #replay so that we know that you've been watching the replay, and we'll be going through all of the comments and responding as well. So thank you, everybody, and go and enjoy your lunch, and I might go and get myself some lunch too.
Have a great day. Super working with Jen.
Bye now.
Bye.